All right, hey guys, it's Moto. You're back in the bunker. We're in the Oklahoma Taxpayers Unite studio. We've been talking about a lot of big breaking news, a lot of international stuff, a lot of stuff that's having to do with national security, border security, the trade wars that are going on. The clock's getting close to midnight, folks. But thank God we have a president like President Trump who is genuinely concerned with the interests of the American people. America first. Which is why President Trump is going to handily win in 2020 again, because unlike career politicians on both sides of the aisle who have been in Washington for decades and decades and make all these promises about what they're going to do, President Donald Trump is going to be running on what he has done. And it's been phenomenal. I think one of the saddest parts about the media environment that we're being exposed to under the Trump presidency is we have such an example of American exceptionalism in the White House in the Trump family right now. You know, not just President Trump and Melania, who is her own entrepreneurial phenomenon, has multiple brands, speaks more languages than I have fingers and toes, but also his children have companies and foundations, and they're active in the lives of their community. Rudy Giuliani makes a point to advertise the fact that many of the Trump's family's contributions came anonymously, and no one will ever even know that that's where the money came from. So there's really no telling how benevolent and philanthropic the Trump family has been for this last decade. But remember, they weren't demonized, and they weren't racists, and they weren't gonna bring the end of the world until Donald Trump ran against Democrats. So that's what the Trump family is guilty of, is they're running against the Democrat Party. And now even members of the Democrat Party who oppose the radical hard left that they've created, now they're getting threatened with primaries. Now they're getting called racists. And it couldn't have happened to a better bunch of folks. So, but very, very concerning things happening within the Republican Party, like the Koch brothers. You know, they've come out and said that they're going to be willing to support moderate Democrat candidates in 2020. Hello? No, there is no such thing as a moderate Democrat candidate, okay? I'm 100% sure that the Koch brothers understand this, all right? The Democrat Party is structured around super delegates. The voting constituency of the Democrat Party does not mean anything. Nothing. You will do what your walking bosses tell you to do, because they are not under any obligation to vote with the people that they represent. That's why you saw in 2016 that Democrats wanted anyone to vote for besides Hillary Clinton. But the Democrat Party wanted Hillary Clinton. So who did they get? Hillary Clinton. The Republican Party wanted anybody except Donald Trump to get the nomination. But Republicans wanted Donald Trump. So who did we get? We got President Trump, even though they ran 16 people against him. That right there shows you that there is still a difference, slight difference, between the Republican Party and the DNC. Fortunately, that slight difference was enough daylight for patriots and liberty lovers to follow President Trump into battle and start retaking not only our country, but our party. So the Republican Party is my party again. The Republican Party is your party again. And we have President Trump to thank for that, because he led the charge. So, but I do remind people that we did not ride in with President Trump. Though he was the tip of the spear, President Trump rode in with the movement. Hashtag MAGA was coming. We had had enough of all this craziness. And you can bring that all the way down to the Oklahoma GOP also. You see a new brand of leadership emerging in the Oklahoma Republican Party, okay? Oklahoma was a Democrat state for decades and decades. Republicans have only had Oklahoma for 12, 13 years. But unfortunately, and an insult to the hard work that all those good Republicans and conservatives did to take this state away from Democrats, our Republicans at 23rd and Lincoln now are acting like the Democrat Party. They want to grow government. They want to raise taxes. We had our last Republican governor, Mary Phelan, that vetoed our constitutional carry. But now we have Governor Kevin Stitt, who's doing an amazing job, sir. Stay on the attack. One of the best things that lets you know that Governor Stitt is definitely on our side is his executive order for agencies not to hire lobbyists. Makes sense, right? We don't want agencies that suck up public dollars going to the legislature and lobbying them for more dollars to suck up. That's how you wind up with an education system that runs your state with an iron fist. That's how you wind up with labor unions that have all of your politicians in their pockets. That's how you wind up with Supreme Court judges that you must retain because no one has ever heard of doing anything else. So a one-party system has as many flaws as a two-party system. And we wound up in a one-party system here in Oklahoma, and it allowed many rhinos to make their way to the top. But again, new brand of leadership coming in. David McClain, the new chairman for the Oklahoma Republican Party, grassroots, made his bones building Tulsa County into an organization that is exponentially growing from what it was whenever he got it. And that's what we need Republicans, conservatives, leaders that can go in and do the work before someone tells them to, before someone gives them a fancy title. Mike Turner, our vice chair, pro-life, unapologetically conservative, linked in with the grassroots, young, affluent, articulate, but one of us. All the way down to the county levels, we're seeing that happen here in Oklahoma. So I'm very pleased to see that happen from top to bottom. Maybe we'll get lucky and this will become a Senator Right nation again. So, all right. And lastly, guys, we'll come back from the break and we're going to talk about a few of the things that are happening here with Oklahoma Taxpayers Unite and some of the fights we expect to be involved in the very near future. Don't go anywhere.